We had told you that we are expecting a state of preparedness address by IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, expected to take place any moment from now. But our Patrick Amimo is standing by there to give us the latest from the Bomas of Kenya. Patrick, what can you tell us? Amimo, if you can hear me, what can you tell us from the Bomas of Kenya? We understand that Wafula Chebukati, who's the IEBC chair, is expected to give a state of preparedness address from that end. But is there any kind of report that you're getting already, even before that address?
Thank you. We are at the Bomas of Kenya, where IEBC is expected later at around 10 thereabouts to address the nation with regard to its preparations ahead of the August polls, which is only about 11 days away, or 10 days away. This particular place is very significant in that it's an idea that was planned and conceived way back in 1971 by the then Barack Obama Sr. In 1971 to showcase traditional African arts. And where we are is the auditorium. This particular auditorium is designed in the shape of the African, traditional African hat. And this particular thing, it's already moved, and it will be our national tallying center for the presidential election, where IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, as the principal returning officer for the presidential ballot election, will be making the announcement after the tallying from different constituencies, and making sure that the candidate meets the obligation, if that role of 50+1%, and whether the candidate has also at least gotten or received 25% of the votes from at least 24 counties for the person to be declared the president in the case of a first round win. But in case there is no first round win, then it will mean that there will be a runoff. So this particular center is very, very critical, and what we're having now is just preparations. Remember, the center, the Bomas, has been closed off to members of the public at least for a month to the election, to allow preparations for this particular center to be the national tallying center. Preparations for the printing of ballot papers is already ongoing. In Abu Dhabi, yesterday we saw Al Ghurair, the media that went to Abu Dhabi, that is led by the Commissioner Rosina Kombe. Already there are indications that the printing of the presidential ballot papers is already complete. It was done by around 3 a.m. early this morning. So the papers are waiting to be airlifted to Kenya Monday and Tuesday. They'll be printing about 19.6 million ballot papers for the presidential race, with an extra provision for at least 1% for each polling station to cater for ballot papers that will be spoiled. And these cumulatively brings to around 196,000 ballot papers that will be printed extra to cater for the presidential ballot, just in case a voter out there goes to a polling center and maybe finds he or herself has made a mistake and will require to maybe a replacement of that ballot paper. But remember, this ballot paper will be at least 1%, which means for each, depending on the number of registered members at the polling station, it will be 1% of that each polling station. So cumulatively, as I did indicate, it's 196,000 extra ballot papers for the presidential election. And this idea is to offset that suspicion that there will be stuffing of ballot papers. So things are ongoing. We expect starting Monday, IEBC has promised that the poll register will be available at all polling stations across the country at least a week to the elections, so as to allow Kenyans to go to the various polling stations and confirm that they are registered voters, and also get to know the streams under which they'll be participating. Remember, this time round they have already done to ensure that each polling stream will be having at least maximum 700 100 voters. So it will be an easy matter. We expect this election to be very, very fast when if the populace out there is really well educated on how to mark the ballot papers and ensure that they don't mix the papers when it comes to the voting. So it's something that we're looking quite ahead for, and we expect the chairperson of IEBC, Wafula Chebukati, to be here maybe in the next 45 minutes. But what is happening currently is that the Chebukati's, his team, the Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee, which he chairs, is currently sitting at Anniversary Tower, 6th floor, to listen to the case involving the Kisumu County Governor Jack Ranguma, who has been accused by a voter from Kisumu maybe for having breached the election code of conduct. That matter was to be heard yesterday, but Ranguma skipped because he said Kisumu County has been hit by the cholera outbreak, so he could not make it to Nairobi. And we saw the chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, decide that they will be listening to that matter today morning at around starting 8:30 before they can come to make the address at the Bomas of Kenya. The other matter that is also occupying the commission currently at the Anniversary Towers is to do with the Marsabit chaos we witnessed when President Uhuru Kenyatta met the Jubilee aspirants in that county, and we saw fracas in Marsabit town after supporters of the Economic Frontier Alliance engaged their counterparts in the Jubilee Alliance with regard to who should be allowed to be the governor for Marsabit County. So those are the matters that IEBC officials led by the chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, are listening to presently before he can come to Bomas of Kenya to to address the country on the election preparedness and how we are ready for the election that is slated for the August 8th. Remember, we'll be having 6 elections, starting from the member of the county assembly, the member of parliament, the governor, the senator, member of the National Assembly, and women county reps. So those are the 6 elections that the Kenyans will be participating in these elections slated for August 8th, which, as I indicated, is only 10 days away. From the Bomas of Kenya, as we wait for the live proceedings from IEBC commissioners, I'm Patrick Amimo. Back to the studio. Sharon.
Thank you very much, Patrick Amimo, our political affairs reporter there.